New data has just been released about 3Y Atlas, and what we're learning is nothing short of astonishing. This marks the 12th recorded anomaly of this mysterious interstellar object, and perhaps the strangest yet. Why? Because the mathematics that has guided astronomy for over a century is failing to explain what we're seeing. Equations that should neatly describe motion and rotation are breaking down, leaving scientists scrambling for answers. Avi Loeb has proposed several theories, but before diving into those, let's examine the newest anomaly itself. 7 independent telescopes tracked Atlas's rotation with remarkable precision. The result was consistent. The object spins once every 16.16 hours. These measurements were repeated multiple times between July and August, and each time the same figure emerged. No deviation, no error margins large enough to dismiss. Atlas's rotation rate is locked in. Now recall earlier observations from November 9th. Those images revealed enormous jets of gas erupting from Atlas, stretching millions of kilometers into space. At the speed this gas travels, it would take roughly 1 month to reach the farthest visible edge. Straightforward enough. But here's where the puzzle begins. During that 1-month travel time, Atlas completes about 45 full rotations. Physics tells us the jets should smear into spirals or diffuse trails. Yet Atlas defies this principle. The jets look like laser beams, sharp, narrow, unwavering, maintaining orientation across distances of 1,000,000 kilometers. And here's another anomaly. Just days before those November 9th images, Atlas showed no visible jets at all. Then suddenly, massive beams appear, perfectly aligned, defying rotational physics. That contrast alone is worth noting. So, remember how I mentioned Avi Loeb has 3 theories to explain Atlas? Well, in reality there are 4, though even he admits one of them is highly controversial. Let's walk through each possibility and see why none of them fully solve the puzzle. Theory 1. Maybe Atlas's rotation slowed down dramatically since July. If the object barely spins anymore, then the jets would not smear out as the body rotates. On paper, this sounds reasonable. But here's the problem. When gas escapes unevenly from a comet, it usually makes the comet spin faster, not slower. The uneven push acts like a torque, accelerating rotation. Plus, images from November 11th clearly show Atlas intact and rotating normally. Nothing catastrophic happened to suddenly change its spin rate. So this theory collapses under its own contradictions. Theory 2. Perhaps Atlas's surface features are unusual. Imagine deep valleys surrounded by tall mountains. Ice sits at the bottom of these valleys. As Atlas rotates, the mountains block sunlight most of the time, but once per rotation the angle lines up perfectly. Sunlight hits the ice, and gas erupts. Then the ice is shadowed again. This would create jets that pulse every 16 hours, instead of spraying constantly. Sounds clever, right? But again, the data disagrees. If jets pulse every 16 hours, and gas takes a month to travel outward, we should see separated puffs of gas along the jet, like beads on a string. Instead, the observations show smooth, continuous beams, stretching millions of kilometers. No gaps, no beads, just sharp lines. Theory 3. Maybe Atlas broke apart, and what we're seeing are debris trails. But this too fails. Multiple telescopes confirmed Atlas is still intact. No fragmentation, no catastrophic break. Unless every observatory made the same mistake while imaging, this explanation doesn't hold. By this point, 3 natural theories have been tested and rejected. Each one sounds plausible at first, but the evidence keeps tearing them down. And remember, this is not the first anomaly. Atlas has already defied expectations 11 times before. Before we get to the 4th theory, let's pause and remember the bigger picture. Atlas is not just strange once it is strange repeatedly. This 12th anomaly is only the latest in a long chain of impossibilities. Consider the facts. Atlas contains far more nickel than any known comet. It holds only 4% water, when comets are supposed to be mostly ice. Its light polarization is unlike anything astronomers have ever measured. It arrived from almost the exact direction of the famous WOW signal detected in 1977. It brightened faster than any comet ever observed. and it reflects light in ways that match no natural space rock we have studied. Every time scientists propose a normal explanation, the next observation breaks it. First, they thought it was a comet. Then data showed almost no water. Maybe it was a dry comet, but polarization came back completely wrong. Maybe it was an asteroid, but asteroids do not produce jets stretching millions of kilometers. Every answer creates three new questions. Now we face the rotation problem. The jets are behaving in ways that physics says they cannot. They remain sharp and aligned even though Atlas spins 45 times during the gas's outward journey. This is not how comets behave. To solve this, scientists are now using spectrographs to analyze the jets directly. They want to know exactly what is inside them and how fast the material is moving. This data is critical. If the jets contain normal comet gases like water vapor and carbon dioxide moving at expected speeds, then maybe there is some natural explanation we haven't thought of yet. Perhaps ancient interstellar ice behaves differently, and we are seeing physics that has never been observed before. But if the measurements come back strange, if the gas moves at the wrong speed, or the composition doesn't match solar-heated ice, or the mass being ejected is impossible for Atlas's size, then natural explanations will be in serious trouble. And this brings us to Avi Loeb's fourth theory, the most controversial one. What if these jets are not natural at all? What if they are technological thrusters? Think about how spacecraft work. When a spacecraft fires thrusters for navigation, those thrusters point in specific directions on purpose. Even if the spacecraft itself is tumbling or rotating, the thruster system maintains orientation relative to space. It knows which way is up and down, not relative to the spinning body but relative to the larger environment. The thrust always pushes in the correct direction, no matter how the craft is oriented at that moment. If Atlas has some kind of propulsion system, that would explain everything. The jets stay pointed in fixed directions despite 45 rotations, because the thruster system fires at the right moments to keep the overall thrust vectors constant. This is exactly what you would need if you were trying to navigate through interstellar space. Now, this idea is bold. It suggests Atlas is not just a comet or asteroid, but possibly an engineered object. If true, it would mean humanity is witnessing alien technology in action. That is why many scientists hesitate to accept it. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. In the coming weeks, spectroscopy data will reveal what is inside those jets. Velocity measurements and mass calculations will show whether the behavior matches natural comet activity or something else entirely. If the data shows normal comet gases, then scientists must discover a new mechanism that keeps jets straight despite rotation. That would be a groundbreaking physics discovery. But if the data shows something solar heating cannot produce, then we may be looking at the first confirmed object in human history that does not fit our understanding of how the universe works. Either way, Atlas is rewriting the rules. Whether it is a natural body with unknown physics or a technological artifact, the answer will change everything we know about space. In the coming weeks, scientists will finally receive the crucial spectroscopy data that can reveal what is truly inside those mysterious jets. Alongside this, velocity measurements and mass calculations are being prepared, giving us the clearest picture yet of Atlas's behavior. If the results confirm normal comet gases like water vapor and carbon dioxide moving at expected speeds, then researchers will face the challenge of explaining how such jets remain perfectly straight despite 45 rotations. That alone would mark a groundbreaking discovery in physics, rewriting what we thought we knew about rotating bodies in space. But if the data shows something unusual, materials moving at impossible speeds, compositions that solar heating cannot produce, or mass ejections far beyond what Atlas's size should allow, then natural explanations may collapse entirely. In that case, we could be witnessing the first confirmed evidence of technology beyond Earth, an object that does not fit into our current understanding of the universe. Either way, the outcome will change everything. What we are observing should not be possible, and the answer will reshape science forever. If you've watched until now, share which theory you believe fits best, or add your own. Don't forget to like, comment, and join the discussion.